I hope everyone is having a good day. And I do apologize for being a little late because I wanted to do this story yesterday, but my day got so busy. But I am here. Now, I wanted to talk about this because here in the beef sector, a lot goes on. We have a lot of doxing, a lot of harassing. I mean, you name it, it's been done. People have pulled out guns, and this is exactly what this person allegedly, well, I ain't gonna say allegedly because I got the receipt, so I'm not really worried about it, got arrested for. Now, I will say that when it comes to actually getting people locked up on social media or actually pursuing any type of legal case, I think it comes down to people either having the right amount of money, as we have seen with Cardi B and Tasha K. And now that has kind of set a trend for people filing lawsuits and stuff like that. But I think when it's the average Joe, like somebody like myself, the police don't take that stuff serious. And then also, I'm not going to sit there and spend every single day to pursue a situation like this. So let me go ahead and get into the actual receipts, and then I'm going to give some of my commentary.
Best of luck to you, sir.
And Your Honor, that would conclude my business with the court this evening. May I please be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Good to see you. Have a good evening. Mr. Singh, yeah, you can leave the booth. All right. Did Vincentio Byers get in the booth? Mr. Byers, there we go. All right. The attorney here for Mr. Okay, there's Ms. Cole. All right, it's position 1 on the add-on pretrial. You need his book. That's the booking number I gave you. Need it again?
No.
All right. 22 CP 211523 Vincenzo Mikkel Byers. 92 days without indictment, no bond as of August the 17th. Possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. Possession of drug-related objects, terroristic threats, unlawful for a person employed by, associated with criminal street gang, or conduct or participate in criminal street gang activity. Then unlawful for to commit the offense with the intent to obtain, earn, maintain membership, increase status or position in a street gang.
Judge, in regards to Byers, multi-state offender, I wrote Georgia twice. Total of 32 prior arrests across 3 states. Prior convictions, 2017 in Georgia for theft by receiving stolen property and firearm by a convicted felon, fugitive from justice, arrest in Georgia, I think, to go back to South Carolina and the FTA in 2017, and South Carolina conviction for fraud by wire in 2016, and 1 arrest for probation violation. Nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Cole.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Byers has been incarcerated for 92 days with no indictment and no bond. He is 34 years old. He does have a stable address. That address is 455 Fulton Street in Atlanta. He's been there for about 18 months, and he currently lives there with his wife and his 12-year-old son. I have verified that address with his wife as well. He has 5 children total, between 8 and 16. One of them lives with him, and the other ones he visits every single week and provides for financially. He owns his own business. He started an LLC. It's People's Choice Detailing, and he does pressure washing and landscaping, and also has contracts with different dealerships in the area. He has been, trying to maintain that business as much as possible in order to continue to pay his rent and support his children while he's been incarcerated. But it's obviously difficult to run a business while incarcerated. And so he's not been able to make the income from that he has had in the past. He also volunteers with Jose Feed for the Homeless every few months. He has his GED. He is not currently on probation or parole or any other open cases to my knowledge. The failure to appear, Your Honor, my client was actually in federal holding from 2014 to 2020 with very limited release times. We're working on getting confirmation of all the times that he was incarcerated. But the failure to appears that are showing up on our record for him, or in mine at least, were times and dates that he said that he was incarcerated and can tell me where. We just haven't been able to get the documentation from the jails yet. Your Honor, the complaining witness does not live here in Georgia. They live here in Texas. My client has never personally been in contact with the complaining witness, has never met them in person. All of this occurred over their two competing YouTube channels. They have the followings on YouTube and post videos and music, and there's phone calls that were recorded on YouTube, and that's where all of these charges arose from. Your Honor, we're asking for bond on this case to be set. He is legally entitled to a bond. We're asking for the possession of marijuana charge for $5,000, possession and use of drug-related objects, $1,000, terroristic threats, $5,000, and then on counts 4 and 5, we're asking for $10,000 each for a total of $31,000. My client's willing to follow any conditions the court is fit, including ankle monitor, staying off his YouTube channel, or anything else that the court requires.
All right, 88, okay, 88 Michelle, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'd ask, as Mr. Byers has been in for longer than 90 days, we ask that Your Honor consider a bond of $20,000 on the possession of marijuana, $20,000 on the possession and use of drug-related objects, and then $100,000 on the terroristic threats, $100,000 on the gang 1615-4A charge, and then $100,000 on the 1615-4B. The defendant's failure to appears do indicate that he is at a flight risk. I do see a failure to appear all the way from 2013. He does have multiple arrests from evading or charges for evading arrest, including one from 2019 in Texas. As a multi-state,
those several $100,000 made him pucker, didn't it? You can see it. You're like, oh, hell.
Offender and not having contacts in the state of Georgia, we ask that Your Honor find that he is a risk of flight. In addition to his failure to appear, with a 36 cycles, we ask that you also find that he is at a risk to the community and at a risk to reoffend. While the defendant has never met the victim in person, the incidents itself and the terroristic threats themselves do spur from an incident that had occurred with the defendant's associates, specifically members of the Fruittown Piru Bloods, and specifically being involved with DeAndre Cortez Way and Ira Malcolm. Mr. Way is commonly known as Soulja Boy. This was a ongoing incident, or there was a incident where the victim had encountered the defendant's associates, and that's how these threats had come about. So we ask that Your Honor also have no social media, no contact with the individuals I listed. I can list them in the chat for the court, and to have no use of social media and a stay away from.
It's on Fulton Street.
Your Honor, that's his residence with his wife and his child. He's been there for 18 months. Again, none of the complaining witnesses live here in Georgia whatsoever. And I understand what the state is saying. However, one failure to appear from 2013 doesn't warrant a bond that high when the other ones were during the period of his incarceration. Your Honor, he doesn't have any recent felony convictions, not super recent, especially here in Georgia. And Your Honor, I know you're not looking at the warrants. I know this is not an evidentiary hearing, but the warrants are.
I'm looking at the warrants.
Okay.
I'm looking at everything beforehand.
Okay, I apologize, Your Honor.
That's okay.
I just mean they say a lot about interactions between people, but don't really give any factual basis. My client has met Soulja Boy one time at a video shoot for one of Soulja Boy's, Mr. DeCorte, I think his last name is Way, at one photo shoot, and that's what all of this is based on. The allegations are severe considering what happened, and the bond that the state is requesting it's restrictive. My client cannot afford that bond. He's been incarcerated for 90 days. And if this was such a serious case, the state should move forward with an indictment, but they haven't, and it's been over 90 days. He's had no bond. He can't run his business. He can't provide for his family. He has 5 children. He's willing to follow whatever conditions the court sees fit, but his home is here in Georgia. None of the complaining witnesses live here. He doesn't have physical contact with any of them and hasn't met the complaining witness. Has one contact with the man alleged to be in concert. There's nothing in the warrants about his gang involvement or anything implicating him in any type of gang involvement. Nothing whatsoever in the warrants stating that he had gang activity. They state that those people are known or believed to be members of a gang and that he knows who they are, essentially. And that's it. That's what the entire case seems to be based on. Including, Your Honor, the YouTube videos that they're referring to. My client is the one who was threatened with a gun over and over and over again. My client threatened to slap.
This
And that's
says,
it.
it says that Mr. Byers stood in front of 500 McDaniel Street located in the city of Atlanta in Suffolk County, which is the leasing office where he lives. And he went online threatening Mr. White again and stated he better bring guns when he comes to the city of Atlanta.
Your Honor, I've watched the videos on YouTube, and
I'm just repeating what's in the warrant. Yeah. All right. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapon. You're gonna have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. You can leave for court or to see your lawyer. No further contact with Charleston White. Stay away from 500 McDaniel Street. Stay away from Lenox Mall. Stay away, Magic. Can't go to any of those. No for your co-defendant, Ira Malcolm, or co-defendant DeAndre Cortez Way. To anybody who's a member or affiliated with Fruit Town Piru, P-I-R-U Bloods. No social media. And no replicas of weapons, no contact with any other gang members or known gang members of any other alleged gang group. Count 1, 5,000, count 2, 1,000, count 3, 50,000, count 4, 100,000, count 5, 100,000, 5,000, 1,000, 50,000, 100,000, 100,000. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. All right. Is that all for you, Ms. Patel? Do you have another one?
That's it, Your Honor.
All right. So with that being said, let me get into this. What I believe is it's possible that this guy and Soulja Boy are friends. And maybe he's just saying that they met one time at a photo shoot because there's actually a receipt or a picture to back that up. Now, what Charleston White did was he went on his Instagram and he posted this, which is basically a receipt showing that this guy has been incarcerated. He has a long rap sheet. Even before I saw this, I was like, well, let me check out and see who this guy is. Does he have a YouTube channel and what's going on with him? Now, this guy has a very extensive, and I mean extensive, rap sheet. And because I am the queen of receipts, I got to actually come with some real receipts, okay? And some real, like, mugshots. So let me go ahead and show that. You would think a person learns their lesson, one time getting locked up. And I'm just saying, I don't want no smoke, but he don't have no choice but to have his own business, because who the hell is going to hire this fool to work for them? Now, he got some updated tattoos all over his face and all that, which I will see in a little bit. And it says in the Zoom, you hear that he lives in Atlanta for 18 months, but all of these prior convictions all happen in South Carolina. So you see that? And I think that's the reason why he ended up spending 3 months in jail before he was actually indicted or any real charges had stuck, because he has a history of just all kind of stuff. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, that makes sense why he got locked up for that long. But at the end of the day, Charleston White prides himself on sending black men to prison. Now, he also went and called the police on T.I. and T.I.'s badass son, King. And I've been saying for a long time that King, that little boy is disrespectful. He's out of control. You know, T.I. and Tiny, they let that little boy do whatever he feels like doing. But Charleston White is like many people. He runs off at the mouth. And then when you say something to him, the first thing he does is, 911. He's one of those type of people, and then he'll threaten people or say crazy stuff. He says very disrespectful stuff about different rappers and stuff like that who has passed away. So to me, he's the equivalent, in my opinion, of a coon like Tommy Sotomayor. Okay. Now, with that being said, I did receive permission to use the Zoom recording by, hopefully I don't butcher the name, Bigen II on YouTube. And I want to go ahead and show you their channel. And I want you to go ahead and subscribe because they have all the tea over there. Okay. They have different Zoom, different court hearings. I even saw one of, this basically, as you see there, a mother with substance abuse problems. But, once you see one junkie, you've seen them all. It's the same stuff, mothers who choose drugs over their children. So it is what it is. Now, I'm also going to leave the link to the whole video in case you want to see the different cases that took place that day. And or if you just want to subscribe and check out some other cases, because I will say it's a lot of interesting cases over there on that channel. And I like how this content creator plays the whole recording of the court hearing and then he gives his commentary afterwards versus pausing it and talking, all through the recording. So with that being said, that's going to be it, and that's going to be all. You will either see me or hear me in my next video. Enjoy the remainder of your day. Bye-bye.